Hello everyone and welcome to YouTube Tuesdays live at 3 with me, Jessica Brigden of Jess B Creative Cardiology. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you guys have had a great start to your week and are enjoying some sunshine. It's a beautiful day here in New York and the temperature is just a little bit cooler, so we were actually able to sleep with the windows open last night, which felt so good. And it's beautiful today. So speaking of sunshine, I thought that today it would be fun to play with the Starburst technique. So I don't know if you guys have tried that before, but I'm going to use a new stamp set. This is called Ridiculously Awesome. Hey, Diane. So I'm going to use the Ridiculously Awesome stamp set because it has a You Are My Sunshine sentiment in there. I'm going to pair that with the Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper, which has these gorgeous colored patterns in here, and with these it's like paintbrush strokes and these pops of Daffodil Delight on there, which look like sunbeams peeping through. So I thought that would be a fun thing to do. And then I thought, you know what, I'll go kind of totally crazy because those go well together. You could picture a sunburst technique with that. But then I wanted to try it with the Whale of a Time Designer Series paper and see how that works. So I've got two cards planned. One I have a full vision and the other one we're gonna see how it goes. But either way, it's gonna be tons of fun. And to show you, I appreciate you and all of your comments and letting me know you're here. The drawing for our card from last week, using the new Autumn Goodness bundle there from the upcoming August through December catalog. Our winner for this is Susan Pacheco. So Susan, if you're watching or if you watch the replay, please send me a message with your address and I will pop this beautiful card right in the mail to you. So definitely leave me lots of comments. Let me know that you're here. Give me your feedback and your input on the cards because next week I'll do a drawing for the two cards that we're making today. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I will say with this technique, it's actually really handy if you have a mini trimmer. I love this little thing. So that is one of the extra little tools that I will be using today. But otherwise, I'm going to flip the camera around here and we'll go ahead and get started, okay? So there we go. And all right, so you can see a sneak peek, some of my supplies over here on the right. So we've got our Ridiculously Awesome stamp set. I love this You Are My Sunshine. I have a fond place in my heart for that song because my grandma used to sing it to me when I was a little girl. So now whenever I hear that song, as much as I love it and I sing along, but it makes me cry because I miss my grandma. Yeah, she's been gone for several years now, but I do love that. And so whenever I see that, I think of her. So I'm going to start out with, oh, hey, France from Michigan. Hello to you. So I'm going to start with a Daffodil Delight card base here. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. It's just a half sheet of cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and fold it there at the 4 1/4 mark. All right, so I'm going to do that and then just kind of set it aside. I have a layer of Melon Mambo. Such a fun color combination, right? Nice and bright and sunny. So this layer, I went a little bit smaller so that I'd have a wider frame. So this layer is 3 3/4 by 5. And then my Whisper White layer is 3.5 by 4 3/4. Oh, Diane's asking me if I ever did my craft room. Okay, well, I am not done cleaning it out. So you can't see from my camera view when I do my little headshot there. I actually have a pile of tubs and card boxes and things like that still stuck here in my, out here in my like living room. And the craft room is in various stages. So I'm pretty much finished cleaning everything and going through retired product and things, but I haven't put everything back together yet. So we're getting there. My hope is to be able to do that in about 2 weeks, because it's already been 3 months, right? So 2 weeks, I'm giving myself a deadline. So I'm going to be using this gorgeous pattern in particular. I love this one. And then I've also pulled out this one here with these little kind of polka dots on there. So I'm gonna, because these two pair well together. So you do want a couple patterns of paper, but you do want them so they somewhat coordinate. Okay, so just picking 2 patterns from a pack of designer paper works pretty well. So like I said, I used those. I've cut these down to, these are 1.5 inches wide, so 1.5 by 3. Okay, so I've cut a bunch of those. So for this card, we're going vertical. And again, I'm gonna glue anything down yet, because we're going to arrange our Starburst here on our white layer. Then we need to trim it down. We'll mount it on our melon mambo, and then we'll stamp and add some ribbon. So you need, for this card, you need 3 pieces that are 1.5 by 3. And what we're going to do with those is cut them in half diagonally. So from corner to opposite corner. All right, so we just want to make sure we get our corners lined up in the trimmer, just so. So these are, we'll be forming these triangle pieces, form our sunbeams there, our starburst. So I'm going to do this on each piece. So I'll end up with 6. What I really want to end up with is 5. But of course you need 3 pieces in order to do that. So you'll have a extra piece. All right, so we've got those. Now on our piece of Whisper White, I'm going to flip them over because I want this pinky orange yellow patterns, and the opposite side is this fun monochromatic blues and purples, but I want the pink side. So I've got these flipped, and actually I only need, well, it'll be random. I only need 5, so I'm going to pull one out, and then I'm going to apply my adhesive to these. So just give your seal a little go there. I think mine's running out. I'm just about done. There we go. All right, so just a little bit on there, and you do want to get it down towards the point. And I'm not going all the way to the edge because we're actually going to trim some of that off. Okay, so I've got 5 triangles, and that's what we'll start with. Hey, Susan, so you're just popping on. You actually won our drawing for the Autumn Goodness card. So if you can, send me an email and or a message there, and I will get that in the mail to you. And hey, Philomena, you're here this week. Awesome. So Philomena, you, let me grab this. Philomena, you were the winner from a couple weeks ago when we did the inlay glimmer paper technique. So Philomena, if you could message me as well with your address and let me know which card you like best. Do you like the purple or the pink and yellow? And I will send you one of these cards. Awesome, everybody's here today, woohoo. Okay, so starting, you know what? Let's get our stamp out so that we can see about how much room we're going to need on our white. So I'm going to put my stamp right down here towards the bottom. And you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp that first. All right, get my block. I'm going to stamp this. I know I did Daffodil Delight and Melon Mambo, but I absolutely love the rich color of Mango Melody. So, all right, so Philomena, yes, I'm glad you're so, Susan and Philomena, woohoo. All right, Philomena, so I will save out the purple card for you here, and I will be looking for an email or a message from you with your address. Awesome. Okay, so I love the rich tones of Mango Melody, especially because it dries just a little bit brighter than the daffodil. So I'm gonna stamp this down here on the bottom. Got some fuzzies going on there. All right, beautiful. Get that out of the way before I stick my hand in it. Now with our triangle pieces, I know I want them to come up out of the center. So I'm going to start with my first one. Which pattern do I want up the middle? Let me see. Let's see here. All right, let's do this one up the middle. Okay, so it doesn't have to be exact, but kind of goes the middle. And then we're gonna space these out. I do want a little bit of white space in between. So they all kind of come from the middle and they go out. And then again, do another one, leave a little white space and it goes out. And we're going to do the same thing with the others here. So this one I'm gonna have to pull up just a little bit because that 3-inch piece isn't quite long enough to cover that corner. And I don't want my corner showing, so I'm gonna just bump this up a little bit, and that way it covers that corner perfectly. And nobody knows the difference because I'm gonna cover the center here. All right, so then we're gonna pull our trimmer back. So you notice the back side, it looks kind of fun, but a little crazy there too. And we're going to pull in and trim off. So I wanna come right up to the edge of my Whisper White and just trim off those extra little pieces. Okay, so line it right up with the edge of your trimmer and just trim those off. Again, the little mini trimmer is so handy for that. I know it's not available for customer purchase, but it is really awesome. You could use your regular trimmer. I didn't quite get this one as close as I wanted it to, so I'm going to trim that just a little bit more. Okay, perfect. And that way, when you flip it, that starts to take shape. It looks pretty cool there. So what I'm going to do is now I can mount this onto my Melon Mambo. Okay. And you might think, what? It looks kind of ugly there in the middle. That's okay. I've cut a little strip of Melon Mambo. This is 0.75, so 3/4 by 3 3/4 there. And we're going to lay that right across the center to hide where those points all come together. Hey, Judy. Hey, everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna move that down just a little bit. And that way you see where they all come together, but you don't see the mess in the middle. All right, and then I'm pulling in some of this fun tulle polka dot ribbon here. I actually used mine up. I had to get another package, so I got a brand new pack here. There we go. Pull the tape off here. Oh, thank you, Philomena. Yeah, I thought it was nice and bright. Good summery card. And this polka dot ribbon is so fun, so I'm going to cut it a little bit wider here than my base so that I can tape those edges to the back. So I'll go ahead and put my adhesive all the way around here, a little bit in the middle, and that way this will lay across. We'll tack it behind. All right, so you can see it's stuck there on the back. Oh, France, I'm so glad you love this card. Yes, and it's, I don't know about you guys, but I know when I first saw like the Starburst technique like this, it seems so intimidating. It's like, wow, how do they do that? But really, you just need, especially if you're just doing a card front sample like this, 3 pieces of 1.5 by 3-inch designer series paper, and you cut them to opposite corners. Hey Camille, how are you? Thanks for watching. All right, so I've got our fun polka dot ribbon here. I've mounted it on our daffodil card base, and I'm gonna slip an extra little piece in here and just tie a knot. Not doing any fancy bows today, just a fun little knot. Oops, there we go. And we can just pull that tight when you've got it where you like it. The nice thing about this tulle ribbon is it stays tied, so you just need one knot. You don't have to double knot it or anything. And then go ahead and trim the edges, and voila. Super fun card there. So that was with the ridiculously awesome stamp set and the Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper. I thought it might be fun to change it up a little bit and try the same technique, but this time with the Whale of a Time Designer Series paper. Hey, Luann, thank you. So I'm going to use the Whale of a Time paper and the punch, and we'll do this in some blues and see what how that comes out. So I've pulled in my card base this time will be Pool Party, so 5.5 by 8.5. And again, we'll fold that there. Oop, my paper's a little wonky. Fold that there at the 4.25 mark. I often tell people this is the hardest part of making a card, is making sure that your ends line up. All right, so we'll set that aside. If you hear knocking, we have a woodpecker who has decided that the metal trim around our roof line is perfect for pecking. So if you hear that knocking, it's because that woodpecker has come for a visit. He is letting us know that he's here. All right, so to go with our pool party, I have done a layer of Pacific Point. So again, this is a 1/2 inch smaller, so 3 3/4 by 5. And then the layer of white is 3.5 by 4 3/4. All right, so I'm not gluing anything quite yet. I've pulled in, the patterns in this paper are just so gorgeous. I actually, because it's a 6 by 6 stack, and the paper wrapping kind of fell apart on me, I'm keeping this in a quart size Ziploc bag. They work perfect for your 6 by 6 papers, and that way I can still see the sticker label for the colors and everything on the back. So quick storage tip for you is if you have loose 6 by 6 papers, a quart size bag works good. But I love the patterns on this, and I knew I wanted to use the whale, so I didn't really want turtles, but I love this blue pattern. And on the back side, you've got all the animals, the whales and the jellyfish and the turtles and the seahorses and everything. So I've actually used this pattern, and I did the same as on the first card. So I cut several pieces to 1.5 by 3. And I just cut a whole 6 by 6 sheet. So you cut it in half at the 3-inch mark and then 1.5 inch strips there. Because I really wasn't sure quite how many I would need, because I thought it would be cool. I also pulled out a pattern. I don't know which one it was. It was something like this, where you've got a portion, and of these like scenery pages, you can actually get 4 of the largest stitched circles dies out of these. So I cut, it was a little bit different pattern, but I cut a whole bunch of these using the stitched circles, the largest one. All right, so I got 4 of these. So that's why I've got a piece here that's kind of got just a random snippet on it. And I wanted to use this. And then you guys saw I had this whale pattern here because I just love the way they've colored this, and the punch works perfectly. So rather than stamp him, I'm going to use my little snips here. So in order to do this, you do need to kind of carefully snip around the whales in order to maximize getting as many as you can from the paper. I know it's hard to chop this paper when we love it so much, but trust me, if you do, that way you can get a whole bunch of whales from the one sheet, and then you hang on to this Oh, hey, Karen. Yes. What? No, so what happened, Karen, is the only thing that's on back order from the whale suite are the little whale of a time seashell sequins. These will actually be back in stock next Monday, the 20th. So the reason that you can't order perhaps the whole suite with the one item number is because of these, but you can still, which doesn't make sense because I just checked, and they're orderable. I mean, unless that just happened here within the last hour. Or perhaps what country are you in? Are you in the US, Karen? Because in the US we can still get them. So, in the US they were just the sequins themselves were on back order, but they'll be back in stock next Monday. So that's not too bad. All right, so I'm going to slip this in here, just gently kind of maneuver this with my thumb there until I got it in the right position. Looks good. Pop him out. So now I've got a perfect whale. He's the perfect color. So much fun. All right, and that was just punched out of this sheet of designer paper. So I know I want my whale to go here on the card, but I wasn't quite sure how I wanted this to go. So I could do it horizontally like this and have my sunburst come out the side. I think I might do that because I can always rotate this if I want to. So let's try it. We'll start with this vertical. Okay. Yes, Judy, you can punch the paper. There's actually a couple of sheets in here. This particular one is on the back side is the blue, I guess it's, I don't know which way it goes, the blue waves there. So this has the whales you can punch. And there's also another one, too. So you get a couple sheets of each. This particular pattern has kind of the blue, green, purple whales on it. And this also, the large whales work with the punch. Yes, so, but again, you just need to use your snips and kind of gently trim around them so that you can do that. Or, I mean, if you loved a fussy cut, then by all means go in and fussy cut all these itty bitty whales too, but fussy cutting is not my stronghold. Okay, so we're going to bring in the mini. I've got these 1.5 by 3 inch strips, and I'm using only a single piece here or a single pattern because I love the blue bubbles on the back side. So we're going to alternate these. We'll do some with the blue and some with the sea creatures. So again, lining up corner to corner. And I wasn't sure how many I would need. So I'll get this out of the way. Like I said, we're gonna start kind of coming out of the middle. So maybe I'll do that first. And that'll give you a visual. So I'm not doing any stamping of words or anything like this. I'm gonna hide kind of all that seam behind my stitched circle. So with this, I'm going to just come right up out of the center, extend it off the paper a little bit. Okay. All right, so Karen, you're in Montana. Yeah, I'll have to check on that, but no, you should be able to try entering everything individually rather than the whole suite. Luann says she's not a fussy cutter either. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna do every other. So let's take this one and then we'll leave a little. All right, I'm gonna move this one up a little bit so that because it's kind of coming off the corner and I don't want any white space there at the top. So that's what you have to be careful is those upper corners. The middle section you can cover, but just make sure you're lined up right to the corner. All right, so we're gonna keep cutting these 1.5 by 3 inch strips on the diagonal. And we're gonna keep doing alternating pieces. So I'm going to start doing this, again, coming out Nobody's gonna see this part here in the center, so you can leave a little white space there. And this one I do want. All right, so again, come up, make sure that outside corner there matches up with the layer of your paper, and pull. Come on here. Let's see, I'm gonna go right up to the outside corner and just angle that in a little bit. Okay, so that works good. Looks like we're gonna need a couple more. So like I said, I just cut the whole 6x6 sheet because I really wasn't sure quite how many I would need. And I am working out of the center there, so always do your center piece first. All right, and then, yep, I can come off this way. And now I'll need a blue one. And kind of come out that way. And you can kind of measure, see how much. All right, so I am gonna need a little bit more, just a bit. And the cool thing with this particular pattern of sea life is that they're all swimming in different directions, so you don't have to worry about being too directional with this and making sure your whales are right side up or not. Okay, so we'll go there, and then this piece will go here. So I think that will work. So I've got a few pieces left over. So I've got enough, actually. I could do a second card, which is awesome. Because when you're stamping, you might as well make two, right? One to keep and one to give away. All right, so let's come in here. We'll trim this off. Again, line it right up with the edge of the trimmer blade. Okay, so we'll come in. Oh, so Karen said it did, it must have just moved that. I don't know, because when I checked earlier, I had people order it this weekend, and it was fine. It was just on back order at the time. But at least, thank goodness, the back orders are getting filled fairly quickly again, so. But that's a good reason to order early. Not have to wait. All right, making sure it's lined up. Trim off the edges, perfect. All right, I know it doesn't look like much to start, but that's okay. It'll be really pretty when we put it all together there. All right, so now that we've got our adhesive on there, we go ahead and mount that on our Pacific Point piece. Alrighty, and I think right now I'm gonna go ahead, oops, look at that, I recycled part of a piece of something I'd messed up. There we go. So we'll just put that here. Well, wait, what did you say? It says, no one will know the mess underneath, exactly. All right, make sure my card is going in the right direction. Here we go. And set that right on there. All right, so now I'm going to adhere on my, well, that's kind of a fun side too with the little golden fishies, but I think I want this little dab of seaweed and bubbles. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of adhesive on this and put that right down here on the edge. So it's kind of like the watery sun in the middle of the beams there. So you get your burst. And then I nicked this just a little bit because I didn't have my die lined up perfectly, but guess what? If I put my whale there, again, nobody knows. So don't think that just because you might mess something up a little bit that it's a waste. We can always fix it. There's no mistakes, just creative opportunities here. So I'll put a couple of dimensionals there. Okay, aw, thank you guys. So I'm gonna put my whale right on here. I love that. I kind of like lining his body up with the curve of the circle. What do you guys think? So fun, right? And I hadn't planned to stamp anything, but with this extra little space here, what do you guys think? Should I stamp a sentiment? Thanks a ton. Well done. My love for you is bigger than the ocean. You're kind of a big deal. Hoping your birthday wishes come true. You know what? Let me see if this love one fits on here. That would be super cute. Let me try this. I think that will just fit there on the center. So let me grab a block. So normally I would recommend definitely doing your stamping first before you glue it down. So we'll see how this goes. And I think I'm gonna stamp with Night of Navy, just so that it's nice and dark here. All right, so hang that up, make sure it's good and smooth. And right here in the middle, I think that looks fairly straight from my angle. Press. Yay! There's something about doing this live that, you know, that's usually when you mess it up, is when you're live in front of people. So I always like to celebrate when I get it right. I know if you guys are definitely, for stampers, you can relate to that, right? Oh, thank you. So what do you guys think? Two very, very different cards, but they both use the Starburst technique. And I really think that looks cool. Isn't that's really kind of neat, don't you think? I love that. Aw, thank you guys. Yes, the space was good for that sentiment there. And I love these. Both sets are really amazing. They have some great sentiments in there. This is like fun and whimsical. And then these, I just love that. Oh, this makes me wish I was snorkeling. My husband and I, we were in Maui. Oh, goodness. It's probably been 10 years. I think we were there for, I don't know, it was an anniversary. I know that's awful. I should remember which one. But we went on a snorkeling trip, and it was just a small group. I think there was only maybe 6 of us on there, plus the captain. And it was late November, early December, so the whales were just starting to migrate and come into the Maui area. And so when we were out doing our snorkeling trip, we actually saw whales. We were able to do some whale watching, and we saw them breach right next to our boat, which was absolutely amazing. So if you guys ever have the opportunity to do some whale watching, it's really, really cool. But that's why I love this set. So now I need to get some scrapbooking done too. Always so many projects, right? Aw. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I really appreciate you watching me and coming out here on YouTube Tuesdays live at 3. And I look forward to stamping with you again next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.